welcome to News Kids Can Use. I'm Emin Rogers.
And I'm Tori Ogawa, and this is the show about all the weird, wacky, and straight up strange things that explain what your grown-ups have been freaking out about lately.
Yes, and this week we're going to be skipping some of our regular segments because we have two teenage climate activist friends coming from Sunrise, South Kitsap to talk to us about climate change and what they're doing to stop it.
Happy New Year! Many countries around the world like Vietnam, Korea, China, and Tibet celebrated the Lunar New Year this past weekend, which is constructed around a calendar whose months are based around the cycles of the moon. This holiday is celebrated with yummy food, traditional dances, festivals, and lots of fireworks. So happy Lunar New Year!
Space traffic update, we're going to have a little bit of a traffic jam around Mars because three countries have sent rovers or orbiters there lately, and they're all going to arrive at about the same time. In fact, two of them have already arrived. China's mission and United Arab Emirates mission have already gotten there and are orbiting the planet. Meanwhile, NASA's Perseverance rover is arriving tomorrow on the 18th.
A lawyer in Texas accidentally turned on a Zoom filter that made him into a cat in a virtual courtroom. And for 30 seconds, he could not remove that filter, which was kind of hilarious, but he was saying that he was prepared to go forward with it and that he was definitely not a cat. Eventually, he figured it out and they could proceed with the courtroom hearing.
That you could talk to your vegetables? Well, now you can, because spinach can send emails. This spinach has been modified so that it can send an email when it detects a change in the soil around it, and it's being used to detect bombs because nitroaromatics, which are usually found around explosives, are detectable by spinach in the soil. So it'll send an email saying, hey, there's something wrong here.
Because of COVID, people around the world are using billions of disposable masks a day. But researchers in Australia found that they could turn those masks into roads. By adding the discarded face masks to road paving mixtures, they could lower the cost of roads and repairing the roads and make the roads actually more flexible and durable.
A 17,000-year-old musical instrument has finally been played again. Researchers in France have found an instrument made out of a conch shell in a cave, and they thought at first that it was for a big cup. Then they realized that it had been modified so that it could be used to play music, and they got a musician to play 3 notes after 17,000 years of being silent. Perseverance rover beginning next phase in 3, 2, 1. Well, that was all made up. But that might be what it looks like while you are watching the simulation on the NASA software called Eyes on the Solar System, where you can watch the Perseverance rover land in real time. It is so much fun. I've watched it like 3 times already, and I've gotten to pretend to be the traffic director on Mars. Much harder than it seems like it would be. Anyway, I recommend that you go try it. You will find the link down below.
Welcome back. Today we have 2 special guests from South Kitsap Sunrise Movement, and we're excited to have them. 2 teen activists who are here to talk about climate activism.
Hi guys, thanks for being here today. Could you just introduce yourselves quickly, tell us your name, your pronouns, and what you wanted to be when you grew up, when you were 5 years old?
My name is Michelle He. I am 17. I go by she, her pronouns, and I don't think I had very big dreams when I was a 5-year-old, but I probably wanted to be like a teacher or something. So.
Hi guys, my name is Jacob Raphael. I am also 17. My pronouns are he, him. And when I was 5, I wanted to be a chemist. Like, I had a periodic table book.
Could one of you or both of you explain what the Sunrise Movement is?
Well, Sunrise is a movement of young people who are fighting for political action on climate change because we know that just individual action is not enough. So we need big action all across the country and all across the world in order to stop climate change. So we are a movement led by young people like us because we're very important to the future.
So yeah, along with like fighting climate change and stuff like that, we're also raising awareness for like human rights. Yeah,
that's another good point. Reminds me of the fact that you can't take human rights and climate change and try and separate them into different issues because they're just connected, aren't they? What would you say is the most urgent thing every kid needs to know about climate change?
I think the most important thing that every kid needs to know about climate change is when you hear about climate change, a lot of the times you think about like polar bears or like melting ice caps and things like that. But I think it's really important to understand that climate change is also a human problem and it affects our most vulnerable communities the most. So like climate change is going to affect our futures, and it's not just about like extinction or animals and things like that. So
yeah, I think that one thing that every kid needs to know about climate change is that there's literally like no time to wait. We're already running out of so much time. and kids can't wait until like they're adults to like deal with climate change. If you want to get involved with like climate change like activism, you can start like right now.
Both of those are such important points. I think if everybody seems to think that it's going to be somebody else's problem and that it's a faraway problem. And I think both of you pointing to the fact that it's like right here, right now.
Our last question, what advice would you give kids who want to get involved with climate activism?
I would say to kids who want to get involved in climate activism that it is so important for you to get involved, like no matter how old you are, because this is our futures and everybody is essential to the movement. So we really want you in the movement and you have the power to do something about climate change. So join Sunrise.
I mean, besides joining Sunrise, like I feel like there's a lot of other ways you can get involved with like climate activism. Like even if you don't have like an environmental club or something at your school, you can always like start one or like get together with friends and go on like strikes and stuff like that.
Just remember that you're very important to this movement, and like when it is safe to do so, please like come to protests, strikes, and things like that, because no matter how old you are, you're very important to the future. So yes.
I want to emphasize the fact anyone can get involved no matter like how old you are. You need to like get involved now. Yeah, you don't have to be like old and like super organized to like figure out how you can be involved with the movement.
Another opportunity that kids can get involved with right now is there's a campaign that's going through right now called the Thrive campaign. And it's basically like connecting kind of racial justice and climate justice and all of those things together in a campaign. And right now our senators are not signed on to it, but you can help us get it through by telling your story of why the Thrive agenda matters to you. And you can reach out to us on Instagram or through our email, and we can like tell you more about it if you want to get involved. So
thank you so much, both of you, for being here. We hope that people get in touch with you, and if they want to get in touch with you, they should follow you on Instagram, right?
Yeah, so please follow us on Instagram. That's the main way for us to communicate with people. But also like feel free to email us, which is also on our Instagram.
Thank you for watching News Kids Can Use, a show about all the weird, wacky, and straight up strange stuff that's been making your grown-ups freak out lately.
We hope you enjoyed the show, and we'll be back in 2 weeks. I'm Tori Ogawa.
I'm Emin Rogers, and I do not volunteer to be the first traffic coordinator on Mars.